Hey everyone, today we're talking about becoming protected, buying disability insurance. My name is Isaiah Goodman, Chief Financial Advocate at Becoming Financial. Everybody's heard kind of a little bit about disability insurance. We've probably seen the commercials with Aflac and the Duck, but what the heck is disability insurance? Who buys it? Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how it works, who buys it, how much it costs, and just kind of understanding the importance of disability insurance. So, if you've heard of disability insurance, most of our clients have. The number one thing they say is, I've got it through work. Well, that's great. What does it do? Do you know? Most people actually confuse disability insurance for AD&D, accidental death and dismemberment. Very different. AD&D is about something that happens, a sudden event, a trauma, an accidental death, or dismemberment. You can get compensated, or your family can get compensated for that. A disability, specifically a long-term disability, is when it affects your ability to work for a long period of time. Typically 90 days or more. If you're out of work, you go on long-term disability. Now, what does that mean for you and your finances? Well, that's a big deal. If you're sick with cancer or some sort of illness and you can't work for a year or two or three, how are you going to pay the bills? Student loans, credit cards, preschool, daycare, all of that stuff that we have to take care of for our family. If you're not working and you don't have any disability insurance, we're in a really tough spot. It's actually one of the leading causes for bankruptcy, is not healthcare expenses themselves, but not being able to work to pay for the healthcare expenses and not having insurance to cover it. So a lot of people that I meet, they say, I've got it through work. Well, how does it work? Most employer plans cover 60% of your income, but since your employer pays for it, then it's taxable. So you have to really think about who pays for it. If it's you paying for it, it's not taxable, and that should get you pretty close to what you're used to taking home. In that case, I feel okay. You might be able to supplement a little bit outside of work. But if your employer pays for it, you're going to get 60% and it's going to be taxable. Usually there's a gap of 10, 15, 20%, which for most people is like a rent or a mortgage payment. So if you're missing that much out of your income, now we start to have problems, right? So number one, you want to make sure if you do have coverage through your work, are you paying for it or is your employer paying for it? Is there an option for you to do the same? Can you pay for it? If not, you start thinking about a plan outside of your employer. Next, how much does it cover or what does it cover? You want to look at a plan that covers your own occupation versus any occupation. So a plan that covers your own occupation is, for example, like a doctor. If you're a doctor, you've got a very particular set of skills, like Liam Neeson. I'm just kidding there. If you have a very unique set of skills, you want to be able to cover or protect those skills. So a doctor, if they got hurt, maybe they could go be a professor, right? They can still teach because they have the knowledge, but their income's going to go down from here to here. Whereas if they had own occupation disability insurance, it's going to protect their income, their ability to do this level of a job. So that's the big thing is it going to protect your own occupation or pay you if you can't do any occupation? That's the difference. And another big one, total or partial disability. Some plans like Social Security benefits from the government, they'll pay if you have a total and permanent disability. So people get disabled and they'll say, well, I'll just get checks from Social Security. It has to be total and permanent. So you have to be totally out of work, not able to go back in order to receive Social Security benefits from the US government. Whereas if you get partial disability insurance, maybe you can work 50% of the time, half days or a couple days a week. Total and partial disability payments will pay out differently. Maybe a partial plan will pay you for the other 50% that you can't work. So ask about that. Last thing, does it have a cost of living adjustment, COLA? Basically inflation. So in the past few months, we've seen things like stamps going up in price. We know that Visa and MasterCard are going to be charging more for their swipes. So that means when you go to Target, Walmart, Hy-Vee, all of those places, they're going to cost a little bit more. Just in general, we've seen inflation go up. Well, if you're getting paid $1,000 a month, well, after 20 or 30 years, that 1,000 isn't going to go as far. So maybe you get a plan that has a cost of living adjustment and it goes up a couple percent if the cost of living goes up. So another big thing to think about there. Last two things, when does it start and how long does it last? So if you have a disability plan that starts after 90 days, that's typically when a short-term disability plan will end. So If you get hurt, you break a leg, maybe you're out of work for a couple weeks, you go back, that's what short-term disability covers. If you're sick with cancer or a big illness, you can't work for years. After about 90 days, most plans will kick in. Now you can get a cheaper plan if you elect to have it start later, so like 180 days or 365 days. The cost of your plan will go down if you elect to have the coverage start and kick in a little bit later. How long does it last? This one is probably the biggest cost determinant. If you get a plan that will pay you for 2 or 3 or 5 years, it's going to be a lot cheaper than a plan that will pay you for the rest of your working years. If I got disabled, I could never work ever again. I would hopefully want a plan that would cover me until I was 62 or 65 to replace my lost wages. But some people, just in terms of affordability, they're just concerned, hey, if I couldn't work for a couple years, I want that to be covered. Then you get a plan that has a little bit shorter duration. So all of those things are into consideration when it comes to disability insurance. I recommend you talk to a professional like myself, work with an insurance agent to be able to understand how it works and get some disability coverage to protect your income and your financial future.